Ah, yes. The Hunt. If you don't remember this film, it was basically framed as originally, how do you say, liberals hunting down mega people.
I'm not playing with him. He's a Trump supporter. Never play with a Trump supporter.
Really?
See him around town with that hat. Make America great again. I don't need that crap. He makes me want not be anywhere near him.
Did you see that article? Every year, these liberal elites kidnap a bunch of normal folks like us and hunt us for sport.
I don't know. You can check with Carl, see if he wants to play.
I gotta go.
That's how it was branded online, whether or not that was intentional or not. I don't really, the original trailer was kind of bizarre and it had a weird slant to it that, essentially it was like a survival based movie where liberal elites hunted mega people. This, of course, caused all sorts of hullabaloo online. To me, it seemed like a movie well worth skipping on its own merit. A basic survival type survival type movie. I was going to say campaign with, not really a lot of interest in me. Now, once all the advertising started, once the battle started between both sides, all of a sudden I got interested. But before I get into that, just a quick word from this video's sponsor. Today's episode is being sponsored by, well, this book, Super Stupid: Why the Educated Elite Are Often So Wrong, So Often About So Many Things. I've just started reading through it, and it basically blows up the entire foundation that drives a lot of the SJW baloney that we're so often fighting against on this channel. Super Stupid explains why attacking their lies doesn't work. It's not a book about politics or ideology. It explains how organic cognition works. Read it to learn how to cut the ground out from underneath SJWs and how to defeat them before they take over everything. The book is available at Amazon, and the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Check it out, support the author, and support the channel. Let me know what you think of the book. Now, the movie itself describes itself as 12 strangers wake up in a clearing. They don't know where they are. They don't know how they got there. It's a shadow of a dark internet conspiracy theory. Ruthless elitists gather at a remote location to hunt humans for sport. But the master plan is about to be derailed when one of the hunted, Crystal, turns the table. The hunted becomes the hunter. Ooh, so unique. So in general, the film did not interest me whatsoever at all. The film itself actually got pulled for quite a while, and in a lot of ways it is kind of the cursed film. First, it drops its promo trailer right after a pew pew incident that had everyone all up in arms. So everyone's like, this is a movie that depicts violence. It must be silenced because movies make people do things.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
So it backed off at that point. It rode the controversy. It was originally supposed to come out September 27th, and now it came out March 13th, largely to a thud in the box office. It was reviewed middlingly by the few people that left reviews, a 65% verified audience score, as well as a 54% critic score. So not even the critics liked it. Why could that have been? Why could that have been?
If you know what it means.
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. I just know it. I'm so happy for you all. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you all. So first and foremost, the box office. If we look if there's any updated numbers here, let me just check. Weekend box office plunges to a 22-year low. Well, interesting. The Hunt itself, ComScore is calling the weekend at 55.3 million, lower than the 58.5 million we saw yesterday morning, and a 22-year low. This may be worth an entire second video because, you know, people are deciding to stay inside and watch movies, or if it was supposed to be a good movie, maybe they'll go see it. But nonetheless, the film on a relatively small budget made very little money. The Hunt, which cost around $14 million to produce, earned $2 million on Friday, which sets the stage for a $6 million opening. That's both behind the third weekend gross of The Invisible Man. In the third weekend, The Invisible Man is still making more money, and not that much better than the $5 million opening last December of Cats. And Blumhouse's Black Christmas with which both looked awful. Universal was hoping for a $10 million launch a month ago. It's entirely possible that the film still would have, quote, underperformed, both sans the original controversy and the unlucky new release date. Either way, it just shows how moronic the initial controversy was. The initial film is harmless as it was in the first place. Now, you saw original articles like this back from earlier. You say, The Hunt depicts elite hunting the poor for sport. The satire feels too real. Now, this was on March 15th. My entertainment options this week were a movie in which liberal elites hunt down deplorables for sport. Things that were ultra gory and played for laughs. A Hulu documentary in which Hillary Clinton explains what with a chuckle and a smile why policies supported by her in 2016 opponent Bernie Sanders' policies like universal health care and prison reform, which would help countless Americans, are just not doable. In other words, essentially the same thing. The Hunt was supposed to be released last fall, but it was put on hold after some people wondered if a movie about political polarity and divisiveness in the contemporary society in which a bunch of poor people end violently was really going to be a good idea. Released now, the controversy is its main selling point. And since we are in the beginning stages of Coof, for sure, blah, 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 blah. The co-writer, the producer, Damon Lindelof, who is definitely quite woke, who recently read the legendary anti-fascist comic Watchmen and thought, but what if instead we made the cops heroes? Has instead created a world where a group of rich NPR-listening liberals who bicker about gender language and whether black or African-American is a more acceptable term, they end up hunting Trump supporters for a vote. One of the Trump voters actually isn't a Trump voter, but is brought there by mistake, and being a redneck hillbilly idiot, she manages to fight back. I think that's a metaphor for something. Ultimately, the film wants to pretend to be a commentary on cancel culture, the new culture battle. It turns out the whole plan for the liberal elites to hunt deplorable becomes reality because deplorables can't take a joke about liberal elites hunting deplorables.
You know, I'm looking for where let's get Gone with the Wind. Can we get Gone with the Wind back, please? Sunset Boulevard. So many great movies.
The slapstick endings are supposed to indicate that, hey, we're just playing around here, rather than show a callous disregard for human life on the part of the filmmakers. And if you don't find it funny to watch a woman impaled on spikes or a man explodiated on a landmine, you must be one of those humorless cancel culture freaks who need to learn to take a joke. From what I understand about the film, it depicts both sides. It kind of lampoons both sides. But you got, the New York Times. Betty Gilpin is proud of The Hunt, the most controversial movie, the year's most controversial movie. I don't think it is. I mean, I really don't. I'd say Joker was way more controversial.
When you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash,
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you deserve.
And you know what's hilarious? You know what's hilarious? They're mad. The media is mad because it depicts both sides as ridiculous. Matthew Rosa wanted this film to depict the MAGA supporters as evil and is upset and, in fact, gave The Hunt a negative review. If we just look at And we're looking for Salon, right? President Donald Trump supporters aren't victims, they're victimizers. Shame on the hunt for pandering to one of the most cherished fantasies, that they are persecuted. Yeah, there isn't like hundreds of videos of people minding their own business wearing the red MAGA hat on the street and having things thrown at them or having physical altercations or people spitting on them.
What's wrong with my hat? What's wrong with my hat? It's my opinion.
This dude is following this dude around Starbucks because he got on a Trump hat.
Supporting the president. You ain't supporting.
Are people throwing milkshakes on them? Yeah, there isn't mountains of evidence of that happening. I wish there were so many videos for what I guess Bernie Sanders, for it happening to Bernie supporters. I guess I must have missed all those, but nonetheless here. President Donald Trump supporters aren't victims, they're victimizers. I felt like the need to begin this article with those two sentences because The Hunt, a new horror film directed by Craig Zobel and written by Nick Curtis and Damon Lindelof, tells a story of liberal elites who take 12 conservatives, heavily implied to be Trump supporters. They're often referred to as deplorables in order to hunt them for sport. He sounds disappointed. He really sounds disappointed that they were hunting them for sport. There isn't much of a way in the plot of The Hunt. The Trump supporters are picked off one by one until only 2 survivors remain. And then they turn the tables on the liberal elites. There are a couple of plot twists thrown in the narrative to give the illusion of cleverness, but the film's entire story could otherwise be on the back of a postcard. None of the kills are particularly memorable, all the characters are two-dimensional stereotypes, and the pacing is so brisk that the movie feels like it's over before it ever had a chance to start. It sounds like this reviewer is upset that he couldn't watch more suffering. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I'm not going to pay to see this movie in the theater because I don't like to support things that are literally desperately trying to be controversial to get your money. But I may watch it on, I may stream it one day. While Zobel has said that the movie's goal is to poke fun at both sides equally, there are 3 problems with that statement. 3 problems. Okay, hold on. The first is that an early draft of the script reportedly depicted working-class conservatives as the heroes, and suggesting the film had the film always had a pro-conservative agenda. From Damon Lindelof, I don't believe you. The second is that the film's attempted balance is to reveal near the end that the brutal hunt never actually existed until a right-wing conspiracy theorists incorrectly accused several liberal elites of participating in one, thereby inspire them to actually create it. It's a twist that still manages to make the liberals into monsters and the conservatives into, at worst, fear-mongering fools. And also, the only significant shade thrown at pro-Trump side in the story. No! Why wasn't it more mean to Trump supporters? This is a travesty. And third, and by far the most important, the problem with Zobel's statement is that it reduces the politics to game, cheapening the real-world issues that impact people's lives and making it seem like so much pointless bickering. Has this guy never been on Twitter? Has this guy never watched a presidential debate? You've got to be kidding me. This article itself is talking me into seeing this movie. Now, I'm not going to read any more of this. I'm not going to subject you anymore. The movie flopped, and it seems like biased critics are upset that it wasn't meaner to Trump supporters. What a hilariously terrible world we live in. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.